I grew up in a family with very funny parents and very funny siblings. My brothers and my parents are all hilarious, and they have natural comedic timing. They're very good with their joke telling and quick wit. And so that was just part of who I was growing up. And then what happened was after I graduated college, I got this really good job. And no matter what my role was in the company, I was always emceeing all of the events. I found myself doing a lot of public speaking, and I always naturally integrated humor into it. But my events got bigger and my themes got, more creative. And I was like, oh, I want to do a late night TV monologue type thing for this event. And I was like, how do I do that? So I decided to take a class, a continuing ed class at the university. And I signed up and took the class and wrote a set. It was terrible, by the way. And but I loved the process. I was like, this is really cool. Like, yeah, that was bad, but how can I get good? And then fast forward, I'm still doing this great job and, or I have this great job, I should say. I don't know if I was doing a great job, but I had this great job and I was doing more events and doing more public speaking. And one of my coworkers was like, hey, the Second City now has a training center in Las Vegas. And so I had grown up in the Chicago area. So I was familiar with the Second City. And then I had gone to Las Vegas for school and stayed there. And that's where I had this job. And when, Second City opened a training center, and I was like, oh, I'll check that out. And I took my first improv comedy class and fell in love. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do this all the time. Like, it was so fun. It was ridiculous, silly fun. And so I took all their classes, and then I took them all again. And then I took some of them 3 times. So that's how I started getting into comedy. And then fast forward, I was at that great job for nearly 13 years and I got laid off. And I'd always told my comedy friends, like, if I didn't have this job, I would move to New York. And they're like, what are you going to do now? And I was like, So one of my friends that I had met on a trip to New York had reached out and said, hey, heard you lost your job. I'm getting a sublet. Do you want to share it? And I was like, oh, let me think about it. He goes, you have 1 hour. So yeah. So I took a walk, came back, and I was like, all right, I'm in. And a month later, I packed up 2 suitcases and moved to New York. So that's how I always wanted to do it, but I had a good job. And if I had a good job, why would I want to be a comedian who makes no money? Or not a good comedian, So, but that's kind of how I fell into it. It was a long journey.